Budgeting food expenses for the back-to-school season? Get more bang for your bite with EveryPlate, America's best value meal kit. It's 25% less than grocery shopping. Get started for just $1.49 per meal with code 49junkyard at everyplate.com/podcast.
Yay Networks.
I have found a doctor
Yeah.
in the hills of the Himalayas.
Yeah.
And he has proven that doji berries
Yep.
will cure your muscle weakness.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
Da, da, da.
Oh.
Beginning with a trumpet. Because it's SMA Pride Month.
It is. Yay.
Da, da.
Yep. Your special month.
I need an SMA Pride Month jingle.
Oh, jeez.
SMA, SMA. I have SMA all day. I am great. I am great. I have SMA.
Oh.
I'm great.
Oh my God. This is so much worse than I thought it would be.
Hannah, it's SMA Pride Month.
It is.
Your favorite month of the year.
Is it my favorite month? I know it's your favorite month.
SMA Pride Month is a month to honor the thriving community, the thriving SMA community.
Yeah, there you go.
And to celebrate and embrace the experience of living with SMA.
Yeah, well, some people do call it SMA Awareness Month.
Yes.
And then a faction of people call it SMA Pride Month. You were in that faction.
Yeah, it's all pretty much the same thing. It's just about
awareness. Just sounds more medical.
Awareness sounds.
You don't really need like awareness of
no.
whatever.
And if you watch your channel, you're aware of SMA.
Yeah.
So we're gonna take the pride angle.
Yeah.
And I think whenever we like talk to people about that, the immediate response is often, "Wait, you're proud to have SMA?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how is that possible?
Yeah.
Isn't disability a bad thing?"
Good rhetorical question. Good question that you're posing to yourself to answer.
It's interesting that you asked that,
Yeah.
hypothetical person. This is like a long journey for many people with SMA. Many people with disabilities is like getting from a point of not feeling pride in your disability or your identity and moving towards having pride in it and embracing it. And for me specifically, like my teenage and early 20s, I did not have pride in myself and my disability. I did everything I could to like not be disabled to others.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like the way you describe it, it's all about how people perceived you. It wasn't like you were trying to not be disabled at home. It was like you didn't want to be labeled with that at school.
Right. I was worried about the social implications of having a disability, having SMA.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, I really internalized the messages that society was giving me about disability, that it's a tragedy and that I'm worthless and unlovable and all the things that we always see in stories about disability. So I didn't feel pride. And
I mean, like the only thing you would have seen in the news was that maybe someone would pity ask you to prom and they might get a front page newspaper for it.
Exactly. It's those kind of stories.
Yeah.
Or, bully in wheelchairs handed the football to run 5 yards. And no one tackles him.
Not the kind of things that you were interested in.
And so, it wasn't until I got older, met Hannah, met other people with disabilities that were older than me or my age who were out there just living their lives, not worrying about the perception of others because they felt pride in who they were and what their disability meant. And that was like a big shift for me to get there. It took years, and I floundered along the way at points. But today, like, I love my life with a disability. I love, my life with SMA, and I don't feel like they are a negative part of my existence.
Yeah.
As I said that sentence, I thought that we hadn't hit record.
Oh, boy.
And I very frantically was like, oh,
A little
no.
bit of panic.
Looking at all the lights that need to be on.
Don't worry, we're recording.
So I thought what we could do for SMA Pride Month is celebrate SMA
Celebrate you.
for the whole episode.
Yep. This is like a repeat of your birthday.
So Hannah, maybe just tell me everything that you love about me.
Anything that
for an hour.
anything that celebrates Shane in any way is his favorite thing ever. So now Shane's going to talk about some of the things that he is proud of that kind of have to do with SMA. And I just want to tease him because he wrote out a list. And I see a little list, and it's the cutest thing in the world.
I am proud of my organization.
Yeah, you are.
Number one. Might not be able to move my feet, but I can write a list.
You can make a list.
And I can organize
do you
it.
make lists?
I can put a title.
I'm surprised there's not an Excel document that's sitting there.
I've organized it in a very Excel-like way.
You did with what you had, which was just notes. But
I was in a rush. Okay.
yeah,
I'll make it into an Excel later, just to be safe. But here are some of the things that I'm proud about, and then Hannah, you can reflect upon them.
yeah. I'll see if I agree with your self-description.
Yes, that will be fun. All right, number one, I am proud that I learned to be proud of my disability.
That's a good one.
Like, it was not easy, and it did take some serious self-reflection, and like realizing that maybe I wasn't being as healthy or as kind to myself as I could be, and realizing like the negative implications that it had on my life and on other people. Like, I perceived other disabled people negatively.
Yeah.
Because I felt negatively about myself.
Yeah.
So I am
And you
proud.
wrote books.
And I wrote books.
You know, and blogs and stuff.
Where I wasn't always the most disability kind or accepting.
Yeah.
So I'm proud that I learned to be proud.
And I mean, in general, people changing their minds is a really big thing. So that was a big thing to change your mind about.
So maybe give me a grade for each one. How good of me was it?
A+.
Oh, thank you. They don't all have to be A+.
Well, I'm going to be afraid if I give you anything under an A+.
Number two, I am proud of my sense of humor.
Aw.
No.
A+.
F. And I don't mean this braggishly. Like, there are tons of disabled people funnier than me. But I am proud that, like, I use my humor to make other people feel comfortable about disability topics that maybe aren't always approachable.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
I agree. I already gave you my A+. I mean, that's a huge part of our content is trying to make things that we talk about educational and also fun for people to listen to. And your humor is like the main part of that.
When you first like learned about me and then we began to talk,
Yeah.
was disability and or SMA something that felt hard to approach for you or like taboo?
Oh, that's a good question.
Do you remember?
No, I know. I don't. I wish I remembered. I mean, I don't remember ever feeling like it was taboo. Maybe like right in the beginning, I was like, I probably shouldn't ask about it. I don't know. I probably thought that. But I also think that you brought topics up, you know, to me so that I didn't really have moments where I was like, I really need more information. Like I never felt that. So yeah. But you're good at talking about stuff.
You would say maybe that I humorously broached topics.
Well, on our first visit, people know that you made a bingo sheet for me to fill out with the care activities.
Yeah, very humorous of me.
Very humorous of you. Yeah.
I love this. Just say what I'm good at.
Oh my God.
Okay, this next one might sound weird, but I am proud that I moved out of my parents' house.
Oh, that's A+.
I love you, Mom and Dad, but
actually, I'm gonna give you an A-. I'll describe why later.
That's offensive.
I know.
On SMA Pride Month,
I have to give you something other than an A+.
you would dare.
Yeah.
And I don't like living with your parents is not an objectively bad thing.
We live with my
Like,
parents.
Yeah,
right now.
exactly. No, like this isn't to say that if you live with your parents, it's bad.
Yeah.
But I was afraid to move out of my parents' house because they had always been the ones that did my care, and it was a big mental and emotional leap for me to move not just out of their house, but 1,000 miles away.
Yeah.
To have a brand new care giver and like care situation.
Me.
Yeah. Well, they know that, and like not have my parents around to be helping out.
Yeah.
And I bravely
Yes.
forged a new path
Yep.
for myself.
You came to me. You
Hannah,
leapt into my arms.
Hannah, help. Carry me away. Take me to Minnesota.
Well, that's why I'm giving you an A- is because you did it and you moved into an apartment with me. You never
Wait, what?
you didn't go because some people like go to college and they have
right.
all caregivers, like they do that. You know, it was a little bit easier than some people where they're just like moving into an apartment, hiring caregivers.
Yeah.
That kind of a thing. So
yet.
I can't give you an A+ if they get an A+. You get an A-.
So the tier of like goodness is like you hire caregivers.
Yeah. You're on you like move out and you handle it all, you know. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I did.
I just think that's a lot
baby steps.
That's a lot scarier than moving into an apartment with me.
Because if you're moving out to live on your own with like hired caregivers, you're making every decision on your own.
Exactly.
You and me shared every decision.
We were partners.
Yeah.
Like I'm not giving myself an A+ for moving in with you.
Right.
Because that wasn't very difficult.
You should.
But it was harder for you.
It was one of the best things you've ever done.
It was, but I get a B because it wasn't as brave. You get an A-, and people who moved out on their own get an A+.
And you know what? People that live with their parents get an A+.
They do.
I'm just proud because I was afraid, but I did it.
Okay, Shane, A+.
A+. I am proud of the books that I've written to educate people about SMA.
Yeah.
And although some parts of those early, like my first book mostly, had some things that today I'm not thrilled that I wrote down for all eternity.
Yeah.
But
some of them disability related, some of them not.
Yes.
Equally horrible that you wrote them.
I was young. And once again, it's SMA Pride Month.
You were very young.
I am just proud that, you know, from like having an idea to write a book and wanting to be an author, I did it. I went through with it. And now those are out there and real and in the world. And you should all buy them because it's SMA Pride Month.
A+.
Thank you.
People who haven't read your first book and have no idea what's in it.
And you're always giving it like
I'm always shitting on it.
Shade, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why does I hate that book so much?
I don't hate
Go
the
ahead
book.
and read it.
I would recommend
skipping a few of the chapters about other people.
Well, there's one other person in there. I think. I can't remember. I honestly didn't read the whole book. I found it to be a poor book.
And yet you're giving me an A+, so I appreciate that.
I liked your second book. I'm giving you an A+ because you wrote the book. People love it. Like, so many people I've seen come up to you and been like, I read this book and I absolutely love it. And I'm like, did you?
I read about previous girlfriends. So, like my first.
Well, no, you wrote about one girlfriend, right? Who you said you were going to marry.
Yes. But there's another story in there about a different,
that one doesn't,
different girlfriend.
I think the one that says, I'm going to marry this person. And the best part about this is that when the book came out, they had already broken up. So, like, Shane sent the book in, and they broke up, like, a week later. And then he was like, can I get that back?
I was young and dumb.
And he wasn't able to get it back, so it had to be published after they broke up. And you had only dated for, like, a month.
No, I was
you.
Rose-colored glasses. It was not... Anyway, read the book.
I've changed my mind. I actually like the book. I do like the book. It's funny.
Every other chapter is not offensive to you.
No, it's not. That's just so funny.
Anyway, we'll put a link below to my books.
Yeah.
The next and maybe last thing, the last thing that I'm proud of is my superb communication skills / my ability to advocate for myself.
Yes.
It is not easy in like medical settings or insurance settings or inaccessibility settings to stand up for yourself and, you know, dictate how you're going to live your life when there are other maybe professionals disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
But I've gotten good at like standing up for what I need, what I want, and how I want to live my life, and realizing that like just because I have a disability doesn't mean that I am like a patient that needs to like
be managed
by doctors. Yeah.
Every doctor is like,
Doctors are great. I'm not saying like don't listen to your doctor, but there are people with disabilities who, and I've fallen victim to this at times myself. Like, I take doctors' orders as like the be all end all, even
Yeah.
if they don't jive with like what I know about my body.
Yeah. And I think that also probably started in school when you were doing like your IEP and you spoke up for yourself about what you wanted, and teachers were like, that's not how we do it. But you were like,
Yeah.
this is how I'm going to do it.
Well, I mean, big credit to my parents for like teaching me how to do that.
Well, yeah,
and
definitely.
tell people what I need and how I want things to be.
Yeah.
So.
And it works in our relationship too. Your communication skills.
Aw.
Not the telling people how it's going to
Hannah,
be.
this is how it's going to be.
I just mean your communication skills are, a huge positive in your relationships too.
Thank you. Living life.
Yeah.
Are you saying that authentically or because it's
that's like when people are like, what are your favorite things about Shane? That's always one of them, is your ability to communicate and how you bring that out of me better.
Man, I just feel so warm and fuzzy.
A+ on every count.
All right. Go me. Happy SMA Pride Month.
Oh boy.
We're going to take a break and then we're going to be back because I put out a request to my Instagram followers for questions about SMA.
Yep.
And then we're going to answer some of them when we get back.
All right, we are back. I have the questions here on Shane's phone. I'm going to select them. You got a lot of questions. My God.
There's a lot of repeats, so like, sorry if we don't get to. We can't get to all of them.
Yeah, there's a 1,000 questions, but I'll just pick them as we go.
And Hannah, can you answer some as well?
Yeah.
I want to see how well you know me for SMA Pride Month.
So as like a
answer
quiz.
As me, yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you a softball first. Is it the reason you're so funny?
Oh,
we just addressed that.
Who asked me that?
Zoe,
thank you. And yes.
Okay. What do you feel is the hardest misconception to deal with when it comes to SMA?
I think the immediate assumption by most strangers that I am socially and intellectually incapable. Like the gut response to me is often like to treat me like a baby.
Yeah.
And to assume that I am not an adult that can carry on an adult interaction.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
This one's for you now.
All right.
Every other.
Okay. When were you diagnosed, and do you have friends with the same condition? This is from the same person. Shane was diagnosed when he was about a year old. I think it was like 11 months. You went into the doctor.
So accurate.
I know.
This is turning me on.
I know you well. And yes, he does have friends with the same condition.
Yeah.
I'm not going to like list them, I guess, but yes. Does it affect your breathing?
Yes. So the voluntary SMA affects voluntary muscles, which are the ones that you control voluntarily.
Because it affects the motor neurons. So like it doesn't affect any muscles that are the ones that like your heart and like all those ones.
There can be heart complications, but not like your heart muscle deteriorating. But anyway, yeah. So the muscles in your chest that allow your lungs to expand and contract are voluntary, and they are weakened by SMA.
Yeah.
So the main result of that is that when I get sick, I typically end up with like respiratory issues, and it's harder for me to cough out whatever's in my lungs. So I have devices that help with that, like a nebulizer and cough assist, which is like a vacuum.
Yeah, which you haven't used in what, a decade?
Hate it.
Is it painful? Do your joints, muscles, etc. ache? I'll answer this one. No, not specifically for Shane. Like it's not like there's no like SMA specific pain.
Right.
Occasionally he'll have pain from just like being in the same position. You know, like when we wake up, if he hasn't moved a lot, like his elbow will be sore or something, but not just like radiating pain or anything.
And not in any kind of like daily way.
Yeah.
Like if I have pain periods, they are infrequent.
Yeah. And from something specific that has happened, like if I squish his arm or
It
something.
usually had an injury me in some way.
No.
Or like karate taking my toenail off.
Oh, right. The toenail was very painful. Yes. How do you perceive sensation? Hot, cold?
My perception is 100% normal.
Yeah.
I know normal's a weird word. Average, typical,
Typical.
not affected by SMA.
Yeah.
I am a big baby about hot foods and liquids.
Yeah. I don't know what I think.
I think I have a very tender tongue.
Yeah. You
Not
have
SMA
tender,
related. Just
tender. Maybe it is. I don't know if it is because you have very tender.
do not
like,
blame it on my SMA.
But like because your feet are very tender and you're like not in like Shane's very afraid of his feet being injured, and I think it's
That's
because
not a mental thing.
they're
but
not. Yeah, they're not toughened by walking around. So you're like, oh my little toesies.
But you can't like relate that to my mouth.
I don't know why your mouth is like that. Also,
I've eaten plenty of hot foods, and still I sip my toffee like the biggest bit. I'm like,
I know.
you know, like yeah, it's hot.
Like I'll taste it and be like, yep, it's fine, and then she will be like, ow.
Oh my god, it's lava.
What are the biggest changes you've seen on Spinraza? I can say this one.
Yeah.
Shane is no longer on Spinraza, actually. Now he's on a different medication that's oral. Spinraza was a spinal injection. He's now on Evrysdi. And for both of them, first Spinraza, that was first. There was a big change in holding his head up, like neck strength, coughing, so like his chest muscles.
Felt more powerful.
Yeah. Chewing, talking, that was way improved.
Yeah.
I think that was like, and also your core, you were better at balancing.
Yep.
Like less tippy. And then for Evrysdi, it's kind of stayed the same.
I was gonna say it's like maintaining all that.
Yeah, I
basically.
think your arms got a bit weaker, which
That's
was
possible,
so strange.
yeah.
We don't really know why. I think it just targets different parts of the body.
Yeah.
Like and that's not as important as like breathing and talking and chewing and all of that. So
And I feel like we should say, because we do have a large audience, that like the experiences of these drugs are unique to the people taking them.
unique.
Like, so don't take my personal experience as the truth about either of these medications.
Yeah, a lot of people, one of these or the other just does not work for them. Like they're like, I felt nothing, I got worse, like whatever.
I feel like I need to say that because like I've made comments about these drugs in the past and then had like formal like interactions with the pharmaceutical companies that are like, we have a report that you're experiencing blah 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 on this medication. Like, this is just my personal, account.
Yeah.
And with that large caveat,
Yeah,
out
seriously.
of the way,
Is this something that can be tested for while pregnant? Also, love you guys.
yeah. So they can screen for it in prenatal testing.
Yeah.
And most states require it now.
Well, that's newborn screening.
Newborn screening, my bad. Yeah. But like, yeah, you can test for it.
Yeah, you can. Do they have special sports out there for people with your condition?
Yeah, there are lots of adaptive sports. Power soccer, power hockey are pretty big here in Minneapolis. I don't play them. I haven't yet. I would love to.
I don't know why you haven't.
I don't know. It just feels like daunting to begin that. You need like a different wheelchair and I don't know. I would love to try it, but so far I haven't been brave enough.
Yeah. Can you explain the SMA types and how they differ?
Yeah, no, that sounds like a question from my neurologist wife.
Okay. So I think there's SMA 0 that begins like in the womb, which is like the most severe. Then SMA type 1 begins like at birth or shortly after, and that is also more severe. They get less severe as they go up.
In terms of like how quickly
Yes.
your muscles are affected.
Yeah, and how much they're affected.
Yeah.
So then Shane is SMA type 2, which is defined by like you never walk.
Yeah.
So like Shane had symptoms when he was like about almost a year old, where he was not trying to crawl.
Yeah,
that
didn't
kind of
even
stuff.
crawl.
Yeah, but it was like his arms and like mouth, like all that, like breathing muscles weren't as, I guess your breathing muscles kind of were, but like he wasn't as affected until he was older.
Yeah.
Like you could eat a burger normally with your hands and like chew it normally for, till you were like in 8th grade.
Yeah, a
or
lot
whatever.
of my like extremity strength got a lot weaker in like my teenage years.
Yeah.
I used to be able to like comb my own hair.
Yeah.
When I was like 13.
I know.
Isn't that weird?
I know. You would like let yourself in at home. You had a key and everything, you know? Then SMA type 3 is people who have walked or still walk. And then I think there's SMA type 4. That's
They're
like
like
even
adding
less.
new kinds all the time.
They are. And then there's some that are like SMA without something that's just like different. It's not like the same same gene thing. I don't know. But those are like the general ones.
And even within those specific types, there's a huge variance of experience. Like other people with SMA type 2 can still comb their hair in their 30s.
Yeah.
So, you know, big differences.
And people that also have type 2 are less strong than you. So there's a huge range.
And with all the treatments available now, if you get on a treatment when you're a baby, you
don't follow this path.
You don't follow any of what we just said. So.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. There's kids at like the SMA conference that have type 1 who were treated at birth and
they're walking. They're
like asymptomatic, you know. So it's that kind of a thing now. Do you remember when you first realized you had a disability?
Not really. Like, I was in my wheelchair at the age of 2.
Yeah.
So like, from as early as that my brain could like process memories and stuff, or like sense of self.
Yeah.
I was using a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I knew like when I was a little kid going around my neighborhood and like playing with my friends that they didn't all use wheelchairs. So like kind of understood that.
Yeah.
But I didn't really deeply
think about it.
Aw. Let's do 2 more.
How did you grow to be so confident and self-assured? I work with kids with SMA and hope to instill strength, confidence, and self-esteem.
Yeah, again, it really was my parents letting me and encouraging me to do things on my own.
Yeah.
So they didn't say, we're going to walk you over to Ben's house and like monitor your play.
Yeah.
They were like, go and play like the other kids in the neighborhood are playing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they really encouraged me to figure out life.
Yeah.
Obviously, while supporting me, but, you know, it helped me to be independent.
Pretty independent from a young age.
Yeah.
Gosh,
last one.
There's so
and
many.
This one's for you.
I don't want
Here, let me pick one for you.
Okay.
Hannah. Or should I say Shane?
Oh. Yeah, people are like, I was asking Shane a question. Why did Hannah answer it?
Hannah is me, and I am Hannah. I really want to ask you one that you won't know.
Try me.
What is something you love physically about having SMA?
That you have a chair wherever you go? Let me think deeper.
That's true.
Let me think more. What do you love physically about having SMA? That I get to carry you into the pool and hold you close.
That's literally probably it.
Physical closeness with me? I can't think of,
When I'm in the pool, Hannah is basically smothering me the whole time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's a good one.
Do you have any different response?
Like physically, it does make for a good excuse to get out of things.
I didn't think that was like, I meant physically. But
no.
I mean.
This is kind of devilish of me.
No, it's a great excuse.
But yeah, I can get out of pretty much anything. Sometimes truthfully, when I'm, tired, and sometimes when I just need to not be doing something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't feel well.
It is a perk, everyone.
It's a huge perk. That was another question I saw was, what's a perk that you love that only you get to experience? That and like cutting lines. Like when we went to the Eiffel Tower in Paris, there was like a 3-hour wait and we were escorted to the top of the Eiffel Tower. They like moved crowds out of the way.
Yeah.
It was just...
I get special treatment.
Amazing.
Often because of my disability.
Yeah.
Shouldn't be that way, but like the world should just be fully accessible and we should treat disabled people the same way we treat non-disabled people.
Don't say that when I'm talking about the Eiffel Tower lines.
Keep letting us cut lines.
That was nice.
Keep giving us free gifts.
Because you get you can't go to 90%. No, that's not true. You can't go to, 60% of the places in Paris.
Well, I didn't get to the actual top of the Eiffel Tower.
That's true. So you deserve to not wait in a line for a half experience. Like, give you the perks where you get them because there's other things that you are completely excluded from.
Yeah.
That's reasonable.
Great. Yes. Great phrasing.
Yes. Because I really would like to keep that line perk.
But mostly I just want to keep being held by my wife in the pool.
Yeah.
All right. We are going to take one more quick break, and then we're going to be back with SMA Bingo.
Oh, boy.
Which is as
absurd,
unknown, and weird as it sounds.
Mm-hmm.
We'll be right back.
All right, we are back, and it is time to play bingo.
Not to be confused with caregiver bingo that I made for Hannah when we were getting to know one another.
This is a different bingo game. I had seen some people like share this in their Instagram stories and stuff over the years. And so I Googled wheelchair user bingo. This came up. It's posted in a lot of places, so I don't know who the original person is that made this. But it has like things that people say to you if you use a wheelchair. So we're going to go through them and see if you get bingo.
Let's see how many of them I can say that I've experienced.
First one. Sorry, our building is not accessible.
Too many times. Bingo.
Bingo. No, not bingo yet. Next. Can you have sex?
Oh, I almost answered it. I was about to say, yeah. What? I forgot how to play. Yeah. I mean, we get that question
we get that all the time.
Online every day.
That's what it is. These are things that people say.
Yes.
Why are you hesitating?
I was trying to think if I've ever been asked that, like, in person.
Yeah.
I mean, by friends and stuff, yeah.
Okay.
But not, like, by a stranger.
No, that would be weird. But
maybe at a speaking engagement.
Maybe.
Phrased in a nice, like,
yeah,
medical way, probably. It is sexual function.
Yeah, literally. I'm praying for you.
Yes.
Yep.
Get that all the time. And I have nothing against you praying or religion, but I don't feel like I need to be prayed for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't
Well, that's offensive in public.
In public,
if you're
100%.
walking through the grocery store and someone comes up, I mean, maybe some people appreciate this, but they just like begin to pray over you for you to have a better life. You might be like, why do you think that I, out of everyone in here, have the worst life? Exactly. I'm actually okay right now.
And then I say this with all the kindness in the world. If you're privately praying for me, what are you praying for? Are you praying that I'm able to walk?
Yeah.
Are you praying that my life improves? Because I'm telling you in hundreds of videos that I have a great life that does not need improving in the SMA regard. So I don't need the prayers. Thank you, but I don't need them. Thank you.
Not about that, at least. All right. Be positive. I know you'll walk again.
Oh. Yeah, I've gotten this. A lot of people, older people, will often come up to me and encourage me, like, not to give up hope. And, like, keep fighting. You'll
get there. You'll beat this.
I won't. I have it. Good and thorough forever. Oh.
What happened to you?
Yeah. This is one that kids ask a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
I've got to have bingo already.
That's bingo. You got bingo. I'm going to read you one other like row and see if you get bingo that way.
Okay. So we do diagonal.
Diagonal.
I love diagonal.
Yes. So what happened to you is one then. Is it permanent?
Yeah.
You've gotten that question?
Unless there's a new drug that completely rewires my DNA.
Yeah.
SMA, as we understand it, is permanent.
Yes. It must be nice not having to go to work. Have you gotten that?
I don't think I've gotten that.
No, because you do work right now. Like, people wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
So you didn't get bingo. Can I have a go? That's like about using your chair, but people don't really. I mean, people say that jokingly.
Whenever we're at like outdoor like festivals.
Yeah.
I feel like a festival is a great place for many of these things to happen.
Yep.
Because if we're just walking down the road, we'll get like catcalled.
Yeah.
Like disability catcalled.
Yeah.
By people that will be like, may I return?
Yeah.
Give me a ride.
You got a chair. Yeah. I wish I had a seat.
How fast does that thing go?
Yep.
Do you have a license for that? Oh my God, I can go on and on.
Here's more. Do you know blank? They're in a wheelchair too.
Yep. Get that a lot. I get people coming up to me and saying, hey, Jacob.
Yep.
Or, hey, Reggie.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, wow, you look just like my nephew.
Yeah.
Or is it someone too close to them? It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be mistaking me.
Oh my
But I use a
God.
wheelchair, so.
Here's another one. Have you heard about stem cell research?
We get that here and there. We get a lot of bizarre emails encouraging me to look up alternative
Yes.
like treatments. Not that stem cells are fringe, but
Yeah, but like that's just a go-to. Like
Uh-huh.
people will be like, stem cell research must cure whatever you've got going on. And it's like that is literally not at all what I have
No.
going on.
it's not. But I more prefer the ones that are like, I have found a doctor
Yeah.
in the hills of the Himalayas,
Yeah.
and he has proven that doji berries
Yep.
will cure your muscle weakness.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No. You seem very happy.
Yeah. With the implication that is
Yep.
surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you're too young to be in a wheelchair.
No, I don't really.
No, I
I've
think,
never had that one.
yeah, I feel like that is more like I think that's more for people who go into a wheelchair that have walked before and like look like they could walk.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't think people would ever be like, you don't look like you need that. Like some of the ones on here are like, you know, like you're too pretty to be in a wheelchair, which a girl would get, not
Yeah.
you. But, you know, you're too young to be in a wheelchair. When it's a power chair, I feel like you don't get as much.
No, and like you can look at me
Yeah.
and understand that I deserve to be in a wheelchair.
You need that
I
chair.
really should be in a wheelchair.
Yeah, you don't get the ones that are like, are you sure you need that? Or like, you don't look sick.
Yeah.
That was also on there because you look like you would use a wheelchair. So they're like, it checks out.
They see my scrawny little knees and they're like, yep, stay in there, bud. I'm going to say a prayer for you.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah, that was good. You got bingo.
I got bingo, and my prize is. What is it?
No one does that joke better than you. Where you are going to.
What's my prize?
I'm gonna take you out to dinner.
Oh, we were doing that anyway.
I know we have a reservation already.
You have the whole month to figure out what my prize is.
Well, okay.
All right, everyone. That is SMA Pride episode of Junkyard Mayhem.
Are we gonna do a SMA Pride episode every week of August?
Well, because we don't figure out our episodes until about a half hour before, that remains to be seen.
That remains to be seen. I don't think so, everyone. Don't worry. We will change the theme. Shane does not get 4 episodes dedicated to this.
Well, I'm going to push for it.
Okay.
I am a good advocate, after all. Very good communicator.
Well, if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, subscribe, give us a review. And it's a junkyard out there.
And this junkyard is proudly owned and operated by a beautiful, heroic, brave, funny, proud individual who lives with SMA. Goodbye, everyone.